The good news is that a bilateral trade agreement is under discussion between India and the US, and there is a senior level official delegation in India today from the US to take forward these negotiations. Already, India has reduced tariffs on US alcohol, on US motorcycles, as well as US textiles. So, we are expecting more agreements to be fostered, and hopefully April 2nd will not see tariffs on India, or will see very minor tariffs on India. So that's the hope right now. Yeah, for India, the four or five big sectors with the US are gems and jewelry, leather products, so all that come under that, textiles, which already has got resolved. Then we have electronics, so engineering goods, intermediate goods, as well as consumer electronics that we are making, largely mobile phones, iPhones and Samsung phones that we are making and exporting to the US. So those come under threat. Auto, US does not really export much of autos to India, but India is a big supplier as an auto supplier. We have started making factories within the US. Some of our companies have started that, but it could hit us. Then there is agriculture, which US wants India to remove all tariff barriers on agriculture. And for India, the more concern is for the US to open up its labor market for skilled Indian workers, especially in IT companies and H1B visas. So those will be under discussion. And then finally, we also have a fairly big, a big US trade happening on the pharma side, nearly $8 billion. There, US is sending pharma and medical equipment of worth about $600 million to India, which are under a 10% tariff. So you can expect India to reduce the tariff on US medical equipment as well as US pharma. Indian pharma is tariffed right now at about 2.5% by the US. So there will be some agreement there, and because it's very lopsided. What we have to remember that India is number 11th or in terms of the trade gap with the US. So the negative trade gap that the US has with the world has India at number 11. So India comes down the priority list. The first is China, Mexico, Canada, Vietnam. Ireland is very big. Ireland, because of its tax haven status, has a lot of companies who have moved their headquarters to Ireland. The goods might not be made in Ireland per se, but they come in as Irish exports to the US. That's a $80 billion trade gap versus India's $40 billion. So I think the first priority of the US administration will be these top 10 countries from Germany, Vietnam, Ireland, Taiwan, Korea, Japan, and then the three who have already been tariffed, Mexico, Canada, and China. And then India's number would come in. Already, we are seeing some short covering happening by the foreign investors who were intensely short in the Indian markets. Now, we are waiting for fresh flows to come in. After December, last week, we had the first week where there was a net positive inflow from foreign portfolio investors in India. We last saw it in September of last year, and then December, we had a week when we had 11,000 crores coming in. Last week we saw 6,000 crores. Monday, again, it was a positive number. So it's looking like first short covering has come in, and then fresh flows should come in into the Indian markets. Once this tariff issue gets resolved, a big overhang will go off from the Indian markets. The domestic indicators are already looking pretty good. Valuations are looking at a reasonable point. So there is a big chance that the Indian markets continue to rally forward. but April 2nd remains a big question mark. We saw the Trump announcement last evening on Venezuelan crude oil. So, a very big Indian energy major imports a lot of crude oil from Venezuela. We must note that this was after taking approval from the US administration. So, they got in writing an approval in 2023 to do trade with Venezuela from the previous administration. But Trump, with an executive order, has changed all that reality. So that energy major will have to seek some more suppliers. It's not a big deal. We are very small portion of our crude oil imports are coming from Venezuela, but it's the uncertainty. So previously agreed agreements can be signed away with one flourish of a pen or with one posting on social media. That makes it very difficult to build a business model and to sustain a business because you don't know what reality will change for that business when. That is the trouble that companies are facing, that governments are facing, and then investors are getting impacted by that uncertainty. You can't hedge against this uncertainty. Say, take an example of Australia, which has a free trade agreement with the US for a number of years. All of a sudden, 25% tariffs are brought in on Australian steel and Australian aluminium. Normally, under the free trade agreement, this would be ultra vires of that agreement. But the US, the present administration, can do anything, can make any change in its quest to make America great again. And Australia has chosen to be matured. They have not retaliated. But countries like China are retaliating, and you can expect more retaliatory measures. Canada, Mexico are now looking at what happens on 2nd April. Yesterday, Wall Street Journal broke the news that the tariffs will not be as broad based, will not be as deep as expected, and sector level tariffs might not come in. However, then Trump posted on social media towards the night that automobile, pharma, and other tariffs are also coming. So already, like steel and aluminium, 25% tariffs have come. More tariffs are coming on sectors as well. So we don't know what to believe and what will happen. I think it will take a couple of months before some amount of stability comes in on the policy front, and then markets can also gauge what will happen in the economy. Right now, it's all very uncertain.